We can do whatever we want in post. Okay.
So now we're recording this on the computer as well. So are we ready to go?
Oh yeah.
DryFired.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to DryFired, the podcast. We just did an insanely adventurous thing, and we just opened this podcast up live to anyone that wants to join and just talk to us. And my video just went away because my internal temperature on my camera has become too hot.
I saw that.
We set
I saw
around. And so here's what I'm gonna do.
So while you're doing that, George, is this thing on?
Are we recording?
Are we recording?
We are recording. And you know, how can we not have a DryFired podcast without something stupid technical glitch?
That's right.
So now I'm just gonna switch to, because I'm technical like that. No, we don't want that one. We want
that one.
This one, and
there it is.
And there we are. We're back.
Yep.
We don't even need that stupid $high camera.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't imagine who's told you that one before.
So here we are. Evan just pointed out that we haven't done. Oh, Lucas Morgan wants in. Let me let him in.
Yeah.
Lucas Morgan is in. We got the whole West Coast is getting on. West Coast Hornets, like rocking. So let's see. I've had to change cameras. I'm going to turn this off for just a bit. Okay. We're off. And let's see. iPhone is waiting to join the room. Let's admit iPhone.
Let's see who iPhone is.
This is going to be really weird.
All right, Lucas, your video's turned off. Lucas, you don't have to have your video on, but we
can see you.
But we can hear you. Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey Lucas, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
I'm doing great. Hey iPhone, what's your name? iPhone, where you at, iPhone? Are you there? Cat got your tongue there, iPhone? Okay.
Somebody has joined with the name iPhone.
Yes, they have. And if y'all are going to join up, talk to us. Hello.
You want us to say something?
Yeah, Tyler. Yeah, Tyler, you're on. I can actually see you. Hey, Lucas.
Look at
your video, bro.
George, do you see that? Have you seen that a couple of times? Let me try to do it, Stone. Hold on.
Oh yeah,
I'm
seeing
that. Get his hair going.
I'm seeing that. Hey, there's Lucas.
See, I used to have hair like that, Stone. Oh, there's Lucas. Hey, Lucas.
Hey.
I think I should do that every now and then. It's a good exercise.
You just gotta kind of, right?
Totally. Absolutely.
So
what I'm seeing though, George, is I think they're in a golf cart in a garage.
Yeah.
This is it. You're at Stone's house at the moment?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about that. What's happening at Stone's house? Tell us why you're there. Let's have a good time.
Yes. So I just decided to come out here. Initially it was going to be a week, but it turned into 3 weeks. I'm out here till January 17th, but we're trying to kill a mule deer, and
we're gonna kill a mule deer.
Yeah, we haven't had any success, so we're just chilling out.
No, we almost had success.
All right, we almost had success, but
who had success?
Well, we didn't.
We were like 20 yards from.
We were 20 yards from having success.
Oh, like you were trying to stalk. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just didn't close the deal.
Yeah, we spotted a nice. Well,
it was pretty.
Yeah, it was a 2x2 that Stone won the kill. So we just couldn't get. He was up on a mountain.
Yeah, we climbed that thing, dude.
Yeah, they climbed like 2,500 feet in like 20 minutes. It was pretty cool.
Is Cooper still
down
there?
On the ground spotting.
Super Cooper, is he still there?
Nah, he flew home this morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
No, it was yesterday, I think.
Wait, yeah, it was yesterday. Sorry, my days are all mixed up now.
Yeah.
On this West Coast time,
All right.
Oh yeah, the West
waiting
Coast
room. We have Ray's Galaxy Tab. Galaxy Tab.
Ray,
Ray.
Galaxy Tab sounds great. Bring them on.
Ray on the Galaxy Tab
Yeah.
is joining in. So we don't know who Ray is or which Ray. You know, we know.
George, I have reason to believe that Ray, the Galaxy Tab, is a longtime listener, first time caller.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, Ray. So what's on your mind, Ray? This is way too much fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lucas, have you gotten your bow back out and started shooting a little bit?
Yeah, I've been shooting a little bit. I went to the range a couple times this week, and I've just been shooting in the garage a bit. So yeah, I've been doing a bit of shooting.
That's good.
Cool.
That's good. I'm sure your draw length is like out of control. And we were looking at John Strand has just arrived. Hi,
Look
John.
at this. Hello.
John actually was brave enough to turn his video on. Look
That's
at
right. Look at him go. Welcome to the call, John.
He's connecting the audio.
Connected.
Yep.
He's trying
Yeah,
to-
his audio is coming up here. It's coming up here.
This is
So,
brave.
so is anyone going to Yankton?
I'm going.
Yeah, I'm thinking about going.
That's it. This is just me.
Should I go?
I sent
you.
I sent
I'll
Bruce.
go with you.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, we'll go with you.
Yeah, we're going. I'm gonna have to get a house. Rhonda's already house shopping over there, and we're
You think it's gonna happen though?
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
This is in Bruce's
it's-
house. It's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
it's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
It's gonna
Even
happen.
if it has to happen in Roos's
Yeah.
backyard, it'll happen. That
You
one's
know.
gonna happen.
We might have to, wear
Yeah, I
a
think-
mask the entire
I'm thinking-
time and do all that, but it's gonna happen.
I'm fine with it, honestly. Whatever they want, as long as I can shoot my bow.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm kind of into that too. Are you going, Lucas?
I'm not 100% sure yet. Not sure what school looks like or anything like that.
Okay. Well, it's
Isn't it all
same
remote?
weekend. It's the same weekend as Vegas, so you all should have had that. You should have had that off already.
Oh,
Yeah.
we hadn't had it booked yet just because we didn't know what was going to happen.
So Bo
Oh.
just entered. JDC Archery is
Look at
in.
this.
What's happening, dude?
Dude,
ABC's in the house.
So this is fun. I'm kind of enjoying having
Yeah.
all these random people just popping in because we're just gonna I don't know.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it.
We're just talk some archery trash.
Yeah.
Dude, is
So-
that Joe Rogan?
Yes, that's Joe
yeah,
Rogan.
Joe Rogan. It's Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Dude,
So now that we have this on, so for those of you that just joined, I see Bo there. Is that Bo Laswell? Do I recognize your
It
face?
is.
It's Bo Laswell. All right.
Hello, how are
Glad
you?
made it. I'm doing good. We
Good.
are just we just decided I set up all my podcast gear here and thought I'd turn it on, and then we thought, you know what?
Let's do it.
Let's just put a live invitation out, and just whoever connects, and we're just going to talk archery and randomly answer questions and whatever. I have my entire setup is plugged in and like ready to rock here. So I got visual aids. I got anything that we could possibly need to answer any archery question that you could think of.
So you're using your best investment of the year, which is the microphone.
That's right.
Yes. I got the microphone. I got the Black Magic A10 Mini Pro. I got the Rode Podcaster Pro. I got my iPad plugged in, dual monitor setup, and we are ready to like archery it up.
There you go.
So I'm thinking, George, that I'm going to work on the guiding of the questions.
Yes.
So
Help us out here. Get this
yeah.
baby, get this baby going.
Also, gentlemen, if we can try to keep it, and ladies, if we can keep it, as clean as possible, it's much easier for us to edit it later.
Yeah, I will just, if something flies, I'll just put one of these. Let's see, I'll just put one of these right next to it, the DryFired sound, so that way I can find the cuss words easy in post. So there we go.
I like
You
it.
get a cuss words.
Yeah.
You see this? Did you see this? Hang on, let me just put this up on screen. Give me just a moment.
Yeah.
Let me find it because Rhonda has. Okay, so here we are. So Rhonda just sent this to me, and let's see. Oh, You know what? This is a little bit of a problem.
No, not so good.
No, it's
No,
we're
you have to
okay.
hit share screen.
Okay.
We're okay. I just need to do one little thing here to get the preferences, because I had to turn my other camera off because it got hot.
Right.
So now I'm gonna just turn that back on, and
Oh,
boom,
there you go.
there it is right there. So here we are. Why you should teach your kids to swear according to science.
Oh, okay.
So I am already way ahead of this in my house. Just because, I just kind of let it fly every now and then.
Right.
So,
right.
Rhonda, what was it that was the thrust of this whole thing? That it like helps them with vocabulary?
Yeah, it's found to see it's associated with honesty, better vocabulary, and more empathy.
And this is on the website IFL Science.
I like it.
And it's from researcher Dr. Emma Byrne. And she's about to tell the world that teaching students can help them understand language better. So you know what? Teach is on the right path, right?
That's right. That's right.
She is on it. Jack's iPhone is waiting to be admitted. I'm throwing
Jack's iPhone.
Jack's iPhone is coming in. Let's see.
Right.
Oh, my camera's back.
It's my brother.
Oh, it's your brother? All right. Awesome.
I don't know.
So tell us your name.
I'm James Corvo.
James Corbo?
Corvo. Corriveau.
Oh, nice. Where are you from?
Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan kids.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of Michigan kids.
We got a decent following up here. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, Chris B and the gang, all the kids
Yeah.
from Michigan are up there.
I'm going to shoot at MSU in next weekend or 2 weekends. So right where he
Oh,
was.
really?
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's going to be awesome. Hi, Jack. Welcome to the call.
How are you, George?
It's going good. What are you up to?
Oh, nothing much. Just had dinner with the family.
So, Jack, quick question for you. Are you a long-time listener, first-time caller?
First time caller.
No one is a long-time listener. We've only posted like 4 episodes of DryFired. So.
First time caller.
We try, though.
Sure.
We try, George.
Yeah, we're doing it. I actually have, for all those diehard fans out there, I actually have like 2 or 3 episodes that we had to do some heavy editing on for, various reasons that I just haven't put up yet. Tyler, you remember the episode that we did in Neem?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah,
a great
mhm.
episode.
That one required a little bit of editing,
Yeah.
but now it's ready for prime time. So I'll put that up before we put this one up.
That's when we got to talk to Archie about a proper English breakfast.
The proper
Yeah, I only took
breakfast with
11 months at it.
Yep, the Queen approves.
Right.
And Archie's coming to Alaska. Did you know that?
Is he? No, I didn't know that.
Coming to Alaska. He is going to shoot some stuff. His dad was a fishmonger, and he has sold his business.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
they're taking a giant family vacation in Alaska. It's coming.
Nice.
Don has entered the waiting room. Let's see what's going on. I love this, the adventure of this random person has entered the waiting room. This is
Exactly.
this
Don.
is super interesting.
Yeah.
So for those of you that just joined, JDC and Jack and John Strand, are y'all going to Yankton? You're not going to Yankton?
Nah.
Dude, it's the Rushmore Rumble. Why are you not going to Rushmore Rumble?
Rumble.
We don't go very many places. I wish we did.
Why not? Y'all need to take it out on the road, man.
I was going to
I
say
don't know.
Michigan's not that far from Yankton. I mean, compared to, say, Anchorage, Alaska.
Put it in perspective.
No, it's so hard to get anywhere from Atlanta, Georgia. It's really tough to go to pretty much any shoot. I'm kidding.
Anywhere.
Direct flight anywhere on earth.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Driving in Atlanta gives me a headache, man.
yes, it does. It gives me a headache too.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's everybody.
I will tell you this. If you can drive in Atlanta, you can drive anywhere on earth. The only thing that is still absolutely terrifying to me is Australia, because they drive super crazy. There's lots of traffic and it's on the other side of the road. So it's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Australians are just infamously crazy, so
they
you
are.
can't expect anything other than that, man.
Yeah, Australia brings the party every time, all the
That
time.
is one of our really good podcasts, though.
That was a dingo
Mhm.
ate my baby. Oh, that
Mhm.
one's up too. So if you haven't seen that one,
Right.
that one
As
is
soon
up.
as soon as a
DryFired
man quotes
podcast.
Seinfeld, that's when you know you can shake his hand and call him a man.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
That's
You know,
good.
speaking of quoting Seinfeld, I got a raft of unfollows on Instagram because I posted a picture of a Festivus pole.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And
loved that. I saw
Hey,
that
what
post
even
and I
is it?
loved it.
I had no other words on it other than I got a lot of problems with you people. And Chris B sends me a message like, dude, what's up?
Yeah. Wait, what's that about?
And I was like,
Ser-
bro,
was
it's okay. It's a Seinfeld episode. They're like, what's that?
Ser-
Wait, what
Serenity
is
I
now,
that?
know.
George. Serenity now.
Serenity
They
now.
didn't even get my reference in there, George, where I was like, he's obviously just airing his grievances, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's all part of the Festivus thing. You guys
They
need to
get it.
watch those episodes.
Serenity
Tyler
now, insanity later.
Exactly,
Yes.
right?
Tyler sent me a hey, what's going
Wait.
on message too. He thought there was
I
like
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
you thought there was some like salacious gossip.
I'm just curious, what was that actual? Was that an antenna or something?
No, that was an actual Festivus pole. It was made for me by Aaron Hamilton back in the day when we worked at Martin Archery Company. And he
Okay.
turned this up in the machine shop at Martin. It was one of the what we called government projects.
Uh-huh.
And he made that for me and gave it to me for Christmas one year. And
That's
I
funny.
bring
What
it
does it
out
do?
every year. It does
Yeah.
nothing. It's a metal
Yeah.
pole
Yeah.
that just sits there. It's
Yeah.
not decorated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
there
one.
it is.
Yep,
There
that
it
one.
is.
Can't see it.
Let's
Yeah.
see. I think I can put that up too, where you all can see it. Let's see.
Because Festivus for the rest of us.
Because Festivus is for the rest of us.
That's right there.
Right.
For real.
Let me see if I can find the picture of the glorious Festivus pole. There it is, right there.
Well, why? Well, how'd you do that?
Festivus for the rest of us. Who said?
So-
Who said? How did you do that?
Stone, I think
Stone.
said that. Yeah.
Stone. Bro, I have been working on this whole COVID thing. I have been working on the technology like you wouldn't believe. You should try. You should try. Let me do a little selling right quick. You should try a online lesson. I have been extremely effective with the online lessons lately, just so you know.
I was so happy to see that you're offering that now. I was like, because there are so many people that are going to be like, hold on, let me book that lesson, right?
Yeah.
And all over the world, that's going to be great.
So yeah, you can book an online lesson with me. You can look at my schedule. If you go to improvemyarchery.com, you can go to the lessons tab. You can look at the schedule and you can book yourself in for an hour. And I will sit there with you, watch you shoot your bow, teach you how to shoot your release, answer all of your questions. I've had people call me and we get on a Zoom call just like this and they want to, I can't get this crazy tear out of my bow. And I sit there with them and it's like, well, here, try twisting this yoke. Boom, bullet hole. And they're like, oh my God, I've been working on this for days.
Oh, yeah.
So I've done quite a bit of that.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's super effective. And I've been enjoying doing it. So it's been fun.
And you just talked about it without being prompted.
Yes,
I'm so proud
Rhonda.
of you.
Rhonda has to. Can y'all hear Rhonda's voice? Do I have that
Yeah.
setting set?
Yep.
So Rhonda has to prompt me to make sure that I actually do a selling job. I forget to like, hey, and oh, by the way, you can buy things from me as well. Hornetpower.net, hornetpower.net for all of your Hornet Power gear. I think I can even show you that. Let's see. Do I still have that set up?
You can link it in the chat. And
I liked that you added your domain.
There we are.
Improvemyarchery.com.
Yeah, improve my.
That's a good one.
Do you know
That's a good one.
why? You know why I had to.
I can't even imagine how many comments you got about what is extra metal.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought Extra Metal was like the most awesome website name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Steve Anderson back in the day he like coined the phrase extra middle, and I was like, well, that's a great website. Boom, and I bought it.
Yeah.
So
And that's when NBC, The Biggest Loser, called you and said extramiddle.com. What does that mean?
yeah, exactly. They go extramiddle.com, and they're like, extra what? Extra what?
Extra what?
Is that with an X or what? I was like,
Yeah.
no, extra,
No.
EXTRA.
Yeah.
So I got tired of that. So I have improvemyarchery.com and I have fixmyarchery.com. There's
Fix My
still
Archery.
some debate as to whether improve or fix is better. And
Yeah, you know.
folks say, well, you know, fix is more negative, that there's like something wrong. It's like,
Right.
well, nobody ever calls me to tell me how good they're shooting. So they know it's fixed already. You know, or it needs to be fixed.
So not that it matters in any way, shape, or form, because we're not going to change it. But I am curious to just go ahead and take a poll. Thumbs up on improvemyarchery.com for those who like improvemyarchery.com,
Great.
or your other choice is fixmyarchery.com. Because I like them both.
Fix is
I like
not
them
working.
both.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
2 thumbs up
Yeah.
with the fix.
Okay.
Let me get the
It
chat.
works.
Where is the chat in this Zoom thing?
Little button down the
There's
bottom.
something in the chat here. Let me just. There we go.
Perfect.
Ballwinder Singh says,
Can I ask a question? Oh,
"Can you ask
yes.
a question?" Heck yeah, dude. You can.
If
ask
he's
a
going to
question.
jump in first, okay, this is
Type
where
it.
I go in.
Type it. Right
Good
up.
morning, sir.
Go ahead and ask your question.
Sir, I am a compound archer from India, and I'm having a problem with low-hanging shots. I can't aim in center of the middle in yellow.
Mhm. Now, are you able to get it on the yellow and then it falls away, or you can't actually get it in the yellow to start?
Actually, sir, I can aim in yellow, but after some time, the aim starts moving down and down and down, and it stops at right below 9 and 6 o'clock. I can't push it up.
Okay. All right. So I got your fix. I'm going to go get like a little visual aid, unless I have one in my desk drawer here. And I have a way cool demonstration that I can show you. I just need a length of string.
He's getting a length of string.
Getting a length of string.
Yes.
I got this right here. See, we're getting that length of string here. Just pull that tight. And then I need a stabilizer weight. Boy, if you could see inside this archery junk drawer, boy, do I got some stuff in here.
So is it Ballwinder? Is that how you say it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think that's fantastic that you jumped in first, because I think there were people that probably didn't want to be first, and so now we can start rolling with the questions.
I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
George also.
Yeah.
Ballwinder gets the
Always watching.
prize. You are the winner of the day today because you were the brave guy that started things off. I'm going to take my headset off just for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, sir.
Should we keep the conversation going? Or
So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. So James, is Jack your brother?
Nope, it's not Jack.
Okay, it's not
Wrong
the same
Jack,
Jack.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jack, when you were coming on, he thought that you might be his brother. just curious. All right, here he comes.
Okay. Now, are you ready? Let me get my other bit up here. I can show you right
Now, real quick, George, I'm going to run through some administrative stuff. For you guys that may be new to Zoom, there's 2 ways to do Zoom. You can either do speaker view, so that when George is talking, that's all you see on your screen, or any one of us, right? Doesn't matter. Or you can also do gallery view, where you can just see everybody all at once. So totally up to you guys. But if you're new to Zoom, that's how you do those 2 things. If you're on an iPhone or an iPad, you have to kind of scroll over this way with your screen to be able to see the multiple people. Okay, sorry, go ahead, George.
Okay, and here we go. This is why your sight falls out of the middle. So you pull back to full draw. You see that weight right there on my string. You pull back to full draw. You've got your pressure set up, you bring your release over, and then you anchor, and then you start to aim, and you stop shooting the bow. You're aiming the bow. And when you try to aim the bow, mentally, people want to be static. And when you're being static, trying to be still to aim the bow, watch what happens when I leak pressure. The bow falls down out of the middle, right?
Yes.
So if, as you're aiming, you let that pressure slowly increase in a tiny microscopic scale, right? It will help hold you up and on the target. Let's see. Looks like Pat. Is that Pat? Okay, so I just added somebody else to the chat. So, and here's another thing: pressure. There's Pat. Pat
No,
is
it's
actually there.
Pat.
So pressure, if you take a look, pressure helps hold your bow steady. So right now there's no pressure, right? And you see the movement that it will allow. And then when I add the pressure, it helps hold it steady and becomes steady much quicker. So that pressure in between your hands holds everything up. So the pressure against the bridge cable, right, holds the bridge up out of the water. And if you loosen the cable, it makes the bridge unsteady. So it's pressure and form related. There's also one other thing that can cause it to fall out of the middle, and that's archery form. When you draw the bow back to full draw, and then when you draw back and then you go to anchor, I can't quite do it for this microphone, but when you go to anchor, if you raise your shoulder up like this to bring your anchor up to your face with your shoulder picked up this way, it causes you to lose pressure because you can't use that elevator and keep your back involved in the shot. Because if you pick your shoulders up like this and try to pull pressure against your fingers, everybody give that a try, you know, hook your fingers like this and kind of pull against it, right? And then lower your shoulders and then pull. You can see how much more direct pressure that you have. So check this out. Let's see.
And I got another question.
Uh-huh.
Like when we are aiming, I'm using a hinge laser, triple sweet spot. While moving the releaser from fingers, is it okay to move your elbow to put pressure?
It's best to not move your elbow. And the reason that it's best to not move your elbow is any shape change at full draw will cause the sight to be dragged out of the middle in one direction or another. What you really should be doing is just increasing pressure, right? Because if I just move this, that changes where the arrow is going to fly in relation to the target. But if I just increase pressure, it keeps everything on a straight line to the target. You see how that works?
Yes, sir.
So the increase in pressure happens this way, right? So this is the hinge, right? And the rotation comes from here, like this. So I go like that. You see how everything stays in line with the target when I do this?
Yes, sir.
But if I just pull, you see how that line breaks? Or if I just push, you see how that line breaks, right? So with a compound, you're locked at full draw. So then when you just rotate slightly, or if you look at that triangle, you have the arrow, which is the bottom, the base of the triangle. Then you have the peak of the triangle. And if I just squish against that shape with rotation, that keeps both hands pointed at the middle of the X ring. So when the release breaks, everything stays on target. That's how that works. So I have a visual here. If you take a look, here's one thing that you can do right here. Let me back this up, right? This is Eli, and he draws the bow back to full draw, and you see right here, you see the activation of that muscle right there, okay? The proper muscles here It's what really holds your bow back to full draw, but he can't use those because this muscle right here is pulled up tight. So one has to extend while the others contract. So in order to get that in position, watch what he does. You'll notice that when he gets to full draw, this will fall down like that. Okay. So just watch for that motion. You see how that worked? I'll back it up. I'll back it up so you can see it, right? And then it'll go down like that. And here it comes right there.
Yep.
And notice that he'll anchor without raising his elbow. You see how his elbow doesn't really change position vertically when he anchors? So the tip of the elbow has to stay in line with the release. And the minute that that breaks angle, you lose pressure, sight falls out of the middle of the target. Okay. So here's a visual of level 2. This is like once you draw, settle everything into place, and then anchor, boom, you can shoot, right? But when you get good at it, you can just draw into anchor without having to change the elevation of your shoulders. So take a look at what that looks like. You'll see Eli here, he'll just draw into position. And you see everything is down. And then when he anchors, you can see the activation right there. You can really see that muscle working right there. Okay, I'm going to turn that off so you can see that again. I didn't realize I didn't have that up. I'm going to back it up. And you see he'll draws into position. The appropriate muscles are engaged. You can see them right there, okay? And you see this is relaxed and it's not pulled up there super tight. You see how that works? So there you go.
Yep.
So Ballwinder, how's that?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, excellent.
Perfect.
So
Good
pay
one.
attention to your tension and make sure the line is straight. That's the short
right.
answer.
Pay attention to your tension. And that whole elbow thing, that's really good to know, because there's a lot of people that's exactly what they'll do, George, is they'll pull that elbow back to make that hinge go off, right?
Right, because the bow is at full draw. See, I got the whole internal temp thing going
You
on.
do. You got that thing going again.
I know how to work around that though, because I'm pro like that. Look at
There
this.
you go. There you go.
Here, turn this off. So let that baby cool down a little bit. I'm gonna have to get a fan blowing on that thing.
Yeah.
Something.
I think that'll work for sure.
So I don't understand. I really don't understand why it's heating up. I've never had it do that before, so I need to figure out what's up there.
I wonder if it maybe is the back screen on at the same time.
Oh, let me take a look.
Because I wonder if that's what it is that back screen as well.
Uh-oh. Byram family. The Byram family is joining. I see.
Oh, here we go.
Hey, I
There
have
we
a
go.
full screen. I got a full matrix here of everybody
I know.
on now. Look at us.
That
guys.
looks great. Hey, by the way, another administrative thing that if you're not talking actively, it's best to be on mute just in case there's any background weird noise. And so I see a lot of you guys are on mute, and that's great. And so far the audio has been good. That's just another thing with Zoom though, is you never know. Like Tyler just hit mute because he's like, yeah, okay, maybe he's talking about me.
Like, I'm not even gonna talk. So
Yeah. Well, actually,
talk.
what's funny is we're gonna bring him in now for just a touch here, George.
let's do it.
Because what I want to know is when's the next episode of Junior Pro Talk?
Pro Talk. Yeah.
Where's
so
that? Where's that?
I was
I see a
thinking about
couple of
that.
juniors. I see a couple of juniors here on my screen that would
And-
probably love to jump in on a Junior Pro Talk.
What I also see, George, is people that can Zoom and stuff. So maybe they could. You know what I mean, Tyler? I'm just
Yeah,
just
I
throwing
totally
that out
get what
there.
you're
Go ahead, bud.
saying.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So I was really thinking about that the other day because I'm still paying for the website and everything. Like
You have to do it. You have to do
Oh,
it.
yeah,
Or
I
we're gonna
have
take
to.
it. We're gonna take the keys away from you, and we're
No,
gonna
don't
give
do
you
that.
somebody else that's gonna do it, Tyler. We are depending on you to
Yeah,
keep
they could either.
Pro
Yeah, they
Talk
just
live.
call you slacking.
Oh my gosh. No, so I'm actually gonna start doing it. I promise. I
Who's
was actually going to do it during, since the Rushmore Rumble is going to happen, I figured that'd be a good time to start again.
God,
I
don't
tried to
wait
keep
until
it.
the Rushmore Rumble. I mean, come on, let's do it
No,
now.
I can start earlier.
Bro, we can do it here,
All right,
man.
let me talk for a second. So, all right. But no, seriously, like, I did lose some motivation. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Oh, yeah.
all the tournaments getting canceled, it really hit me hard, But you know what,
Tyler, let me stop
watch
you
out
there
for
for
a
just half a
podcast.
second. Let me stop you for half a second.
Raise your hand.
As you notice, this is the first
motivation this year.
right. This is the first podcast George and I have done in months. We understand what's going on. So, but the best thing, and do not follow by our example, because we like to do it exactly like we like to do it, which is, you know what? It's a Sunday. Let's do it right now, right?
Yeah.
We don't like to follow a schedule, but if you can put yourself on a schedule, and I want you to set yourself like something like once a month, maybe once, twice a month, something like that. Don't try to set anything insane like 3 times a week. People that try to do that, that's crazy. It's just a thought for you though, Tyler. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I totally agree with you on that. Like, we're trying to like push content pretty hard. Like, we're doing like one podcast, and we're trying to do like live feeds on like our Instagram, and it was a lot of fun. The summer we had tons of time, and I also guess like I started school and college, and I kind of let that get in the way of archery, which I'm not planning on allowing that to happen again. But yeah, I just if I manage my time better, like you're saying, like really set a goal of like 1 or 2 podcasts a month. It was just getting hard to like find enough content for like every week having a podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
because you've noticed we're bursting at the seams with content, right?
You're bursting.
You see, we don't have any
Stone's
content.
on here.
We're
He has a lot of
podcasting anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, Tyler, just as an experiment, turn your phone landscape and see if we can see Stone too.
Is that a little better?
It makes you sideways.
We can make you sideways, but we can see Stone. So
yeah.
Yeah. How about this? I'll hold it out wider.
Oh,
there
there
you go. Look at Stone. Go ahead and shake that hair. Check.
Yeah.
There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at
I haven't seen Stone for like almost a year. The last time I saw him was at was it Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's grown quite a bit. So he's like, what are you like 5'7" now?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So
he's 5'7".
He's grown a lot.
Yeah.
He's
I'm
grown
only
a lot.
like 5'9", so he's
Bro, you're huge. Are you giving some Stone some like protein shake tips and workouts? You gonna like put some muscle on him?
The next 2 weeks that I'm out here, we're gonna hit the gym.
Tell him what we did.
What?
We built a gym.
Oh yeah, we built a gym today actually.
Oh, in Stone's house.
Yeah, he had an office space, and his parents, got a little bit of workout equipment. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Stone,
perfect.
You will see the huge, yes.
All right. Well, now they take off the shirt. Now, come on.
It's Eli's job.
Now you got to get now you got to get the Bowflex draw cycle going on.
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
work it out.
Stone, quick question for you though. Do you have a decent chiropractor there in Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because you're going to need it with all that hair flipping.
Yeah, the neck is going to be a problem.
I've missed you, Stone. I've missed you.
I miss you guys.
After visiting here and the weather, it's kind of hard not to move out here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, we were trying to kill some coyotes yesterday.
Yeah, we went coyote hunting yesterday. It's pretty fun.
That'd be fun. Yeah. It's mountain lions that bother me.
Oh, and we saved someone. We can't. we
did
at least
save
saved someone.
Yeah, we just saved one.
Oh, wait. Tell us this story. This is content. This is what we call content, by the way.
So we're shooting some guns down in the desert. They're just
casually.
Yeah, just casually. And he has a winch on his Jeep now, and we're driving the Jeep. Just driving through
jamming.
Listening to some country music with the windows down. And we found this razor, like huge razor, like a 6-feeder.
It was huge. Yeah,
huge. It was flipped upside down. So we flipped it over with the winch. It was pretty cool. So people were fine and everything, but it was
Tyler to the rescue. What were they trying to do? They had it over full, and they
Oh, he's trying to do donut.
Yeah, he's trying to do donuts, and You hit some big rock.
So for the listeners out there that don't necessarily know off-roading vehicles, when he says razor, he's talking about a 4 or a 6 wheel, depending on what they're doing, off-roading machine that you can go from 0 to awesome in like 2 seconds.
A 6-wheel razor?
It was 4-wheel.
It's 4-wheel. Okay.
4-wheel, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
4C.
Yeah.
It was big.
I've
It
never
was a
been
big
in
one.
Yeah, but it's either 4 or 6. I don't know what they are.
Oh, 4
Never been in
6-seater.
one.
Sorry, I heard wheel and I was like, okay,
Me and
that's
Tyler
weird.
getting one
I was
when he
gonna
was out
say.
here.
I was gonna say if you find a 6-wheel Polaris, I want to see it.
Oh, I've seen them before.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have them.
We saw one like on the road when we were
Yeah, we
hunting.
did. They're cool. No, it was a 4-wheeler. That was
No, it was like 6x6.
No, it was a 6-wheeler 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Yeah, it was
There's
like
2 of them on the trailer.
So George, I'm gonna call on a couple other people to see what kind of questions we got. Does that sound good?
I see a question in the chat here
Okay.
also, but
Yeah,
let's keep that one in the hole. But go ahead and bring
I
us
got a
somebody
question
else.
if you guys don't mind.
All right, go.
So just getting into shooting again since Corona, I've borrowed some 27 arrows from my friend, and I can shoot absolutely amazing with the 27s. But when I switched to my 23s, which I used before Corona and I shot good with them, I can't get them to hit as well as I can my 27s. I don't know if it's probably not something I don't know if it's something you can tell, but I can hit way better with a 27 than I can a 23.
So do you have a targets? Can you show us a target?
Yeah, I got one
each
from
arrow?
yesterday.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got a 23 hole in it.
We'll see if there's anything obvious on the targets first.
Let's see. You can't really tell where the other holes were. Dang. Okay, so that one might not be a question that we can answer on here.
Well,
But I
that
have
target looks like, what bow are you shooting?
a Dart and Tempest.
So check your timing on your Dart and Tempest, because I'm seeing a lot of vertical there.
Okay.
And those vertical, you notice your groups aren't extremely wide. You know, if you kind of eliminate the outliers there and you look, the groups are more vertical. And that's typically a signal that your wheel timing is a little bit off. And it's not visual wheel timing. Like actually shoot it in. Take a look at, if you Google creep tuning Griv, I've got full instructions on how to like shoot your timing in. So if you shoot a soft shot or if you shoot a hard shot, they'll both hit dead center. And
Okay.
that's just glancing at that target. That seems like that's your biggest loss of points is that vertical spray.
Okay. And then
the
I have
target.
one more. Well, kind of two, but you were talking about earlier setting your shoulder back and then how it's got that final movement before you lock it in. When I do that, I feel like a weird pop, and I don't know if I'm putting too much pressure on it or I don't know, but when I come to full draw, I can feel it popping.
Yeah, you shouldn't feel that. What I like to see, I'm going to take this off. Let's see. Maybe can you still hear the sound of my voice here?
Yep, we can.
Try to prop this up like so. Right? So when you draw the bow back, you'll go boom like this, and watch my shoulder tops where I'll settle that, right? And you see, I'm going to stick into the anchor, and I'm not moving my elbow anchored away from your shoulder, right? What I'll do is, you see this triangle right here? I'm going to make that triangle bigger in order to anchor instead of raising my elbow up to anchor, right?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure usually the popping and grinding that people get is on account of that. So, and note that when I draw back and when I go to anchor, note my wrist has to flex just a little bit in order to actually touch my anchor. So if you keep your wrist very rigid, you can't really get to your anchor biomechanically without raising your shoulder up. So if I'm trying to shoot this way, I lose tension. That loss of tension causes me to creep a little, which causes the vertical dispersion of my arrows. So just pull it back, make it tight, settle your shoulder tops, and then bring your hand to your face vertically like this, rather than raising everything up like that to make it fit. Okay.
So again, pay attention to the tension.
Pay attention to your tension and direction. So there's that.
Gotcha.
Tyler's raising his hand. Go ahead,
So
Tyler.
I have like a more technical question. Like why? All right. I guess it's going back to the creep tuning stuff. Like why your shots hit high and low. Is it because like the different like I'm just asking like what's the science behind like why like soft shots hit high and hard shots hit low sometimes? Like is it because like the wheels are different, like minutely different sizes, or like what's the explanation as to why creep tuning works?
So the reason that creep tuning works is, number one, if one cam is moving before another, your knocking point doesn't go through the system level. So if it goes through from top to bottom, you hit low. And if it goes through from bottom to top, you hit high, right? So by setting the synchronization of both cams so that they both move in unison as related to where the arrow is attached to the string, that launches the arrow dead straight out of the bow so that you get predictable results.
So like the new Matthews V3 has the pre-canted center guard, roller guard, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And isn't the reason behind that to promote the equal synchronization between the cams every time you draw? Is that a bow you still have to creep tune, or is that one it's not going to be creep tuned as much?
You absolutely have to creep tune that bow. It is a straight up 2-cam system. So if your timing isn't balls, it'll spray your arrows high and low. The beauty of a 2-cam system, though, is you have complete control over the cam timing, where a single cam, you can't do anything about it. A binary cam, you can work it a little. And with a hybrid cam, you have pretty good control. But the 2-cam system has the best level of control over the creep tuning. But the cable guard doesn't have anything to do with it. It has to do with where the center of the bow is in relation. Let me get a riser here. It's a fake riser here I can use. So it's related to where the center of the bow is, right? And this particular bow, the center of the bow is here. This is one I designed for Martin Archery a billion years ago. So I basically split the difference between the grip, where you're holding the bow, right, and where the arrow is flying through. So if the string tracks on the top and the bottom can both move at the same time, I get good straight knock travel through the bow, right? But if the center of the bow is here and I'm holding it here, one of those cams has to be slightly out of joint with the other so that the arrow can fly through the center of the bow. And the best way to figure that out is to just shoot it in. And it's super easy. The instructions are online. I've been writing about creep tuning since like 1996 or so. So there's a million articles online about how to creep tune your bow. It's super easy. And it's as JDC Archery. Tell me your first name again. James. So as you saw on James's target, he had vertical dispersion of his arrows, and he was losing points that he probably was dead on when it fired. Let me let Michael in the room. There we go. He was probably dead on when his bow went off, but he missed high or low just because he was a little bit, loose at full draw.
Perfect.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Tyler?
Thank you for explaining that, because I've been wondering about it.
I've creep tuned y'all's bows at Hornet Camp 100 times.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael, mute yourself if you're not talking, so that way the background noise. There you go. Perfect.
So George, I'm going to jump in real quick. As soon as I saw you come in, Paul, by the way, I was like, it's Paul. So Paul here, everybody, I shot with Paul last year in Vegas. Good to see you again. You were in Virginia, I think then, right? Are you still there?
I was. I'm in Mississippi now. The Navy moves us around.
Okay. Mississippi. All right.
Yep.
Yeah. Alaska's doing great. We're cold. There's like a foot of snow outside. And I know that because I measured it the other day because somebody was wondering. And, other than that, we're fine. You know,
I hope you're well. It's good to see you.
yeah, we're doing great. And Tyler and Stone are in Arizona, so I don't even want to hear what your temperatures are. Okay, so
64 for a high,
there you go.
if you're asking.
Okay,
It's
so
nice here.
George, hold on. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry.
No worries. I was wondering, can we move on to John's question?
Yes, let's move on to John's question.
And John, I know that you wrote it all out here, but could you go ahead and unmute and just ask your question directly?
Yeah, hi. We got about a foot of snow here in Sussex, Wisconsin, too, and we are a balmy 30 degrees today, so not so bad.
Nice.
Question for you guys is, as I'm getting older, I'm probably getting more careful in my shot, and I've been stuck for 3 years, and I'm 99% sure I'm on track to fix. But my question is there a drill to help get my strong shot timing back? Because it seems to be a score for tournaments and even leagues starting up, I am expecting not the same as practice anymore. And I think it's because I'm getting problems with aiming, getting in the way of the timing of the shot. It's easier in practice, of course, but looking for drills to maybe just give up and stop worrying about score so much and just stay with that strong thought.
That's you kind of said it, right? It's more psychological than it is function, really. But there is a drill that you can use in order to work yourself through that, and I call it the short range exercise. And essentially, you just put a target up at 5-7 yards, a full size target, and then work on speeding up your shot execution. You're not punching, you're not moving really fast.
No.
You're going to make the aim easier by pulling the target up really close, so the shot timing really starts working. Then move it a couple yards away, and then
So I've been working on that, and and I've been well aware of that drill, and it's an awesome drill. I shoot at 10 yards to 14 yards and just drill in the 11 ring. And then as soon as I go to 20 and it's for quarters or for score, that psychological thing gets in and I start getting too careful.
Right. If your priority changes to don't miss instead of shoot the bow,
Right.
You don't get the bow to shoot. You know, I can set my bow on the ground and put it in the middle of the 10 ring, and I can hold in the middle of the 10 ring all day long. But if I don't shoot it, it's not.
I'm not a holder. I can't hold in the middle. When I'm dynamic, I'll just drill it. But as soon as I start getting locked up, then the shot don't break.
So let's change the words a little bit. When you're dynamic, you're shooting the bow and you're allowing it to get still as you shoot it. But when you're trying to hold, you're not shooting the bow. And that's why your score suffers. So that short range exercise, if you work your way through that and use it as a very quick warm up to get ready to shoot, those kind of things, you can develop the bravery that it takes to just look at the middle and shoot it and just let the bow work.
Yep. Okay, cool.
One of the things that I noticed is, John, you were talking about the 10 yards and the 14 yards and whatnot. One thing I noticed, George, is after doing the whole 5 yards and 7 yards,
right,
there's a whole different psychology to that than the 10 yards, because you're taking out even that 10-yard barrier, so to speak, right? And there's some magic to that 5 and 7 yards. So, John, I'm sure you've tried that, but you might want to roll with that for a little bit too and see how you do.
Sure. I mean, I work on. I think the confidence that you gain really improves that shot timing. And with your drill, I've earned myself back to like 17 yards, staying clean, and I'm trying to just grade myself instead of score, but maybe more on form and shot timing, and trying to make it a priority and giving up on that score. The scores will come, I think, if I redo it.
Yeah, the score isn't something that you control. And believe it or not, aiming isn't something that you control either. Aiming is not a
I
step.
agree.
It's the side effect of good form. So if you execute the good form and just roll through your shot and let the form do the shooting of the bow, the form will also aim the bow. This whole exercise right here that I was showing you is this demonstration that I was showing you is how form creates stability. So when you're not 18 years old anymore, right? You can't
Wait a
hold
minute.
for 10 or 12 seconds. You see, you got about
Yeah,
6 seconds,
that,
of good shot.
that leads into the old man thing. So maybe why is as I'm getting older, I can't continue to get better? Why am I just like happy to shoot average now?
You can continue to shoot better. I mean, one of the greatest that's ever lived in target archery, Rio's dad, D. Wild, he started at 40 and shot for 20 years at number one. So age hasn't got anything to do with it. It's clean shooting. And, Grant, if you're healthy and if you're in good shape and you have a very good, super clean shot execution procedure, you can stroll through the shots and you're really only at full draw for like 6 seconds. And you can go bam, 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 have 3 arrows in the target in less than 60 seconds. And you're sitting in a chair while everybody else is sweating through their last 2 arrows.
Yeah, while the young guys are sitting there still trying to shoot, and you're like, "What took you so long? I'm ready."
If you've
I'm always the last guy off the line. I'm getting tired of being the last guy off the line.
So to all the guys that are on this call, I'm going to tell you a magic secret, and this goes right to what John says. Many times I've been one of the announcers or one of the color commentators on the Vegas shoot, and almost every time they ask me who's going to win. And I have 100% record on choosing who the winner's going to be out of 20 guys. Do you know how I pick who has the best shot timing?
Form.
Which one of them comes off the line first? They all have good form. They all shot a 900 before they, to get there, right?
I do, because I've heard you say it before, and I don't want to spoil it for everybody.
Yeah, there you go, Paul. Good job. So they go boom, 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 and they're off the line. Their bow is on the ground. I'm like, that guy's going to win right there. And as long as he keeps it together and as long as it works, he is fearlessly just shooting the bow and he's letting everything else just work because he trusts his training. And that's what wins.
He's not sweating the small stuff. He's doing it and getting it done and walking away. Yep.
Nope. And James, if you just shoot your bow, that vertical pattern that you've got in your target, that'll get more narrow and it'll get shorter and you'll be hammering. I can see from your target that you're a shooter. You're just shooting scared. You need to just shoot your bow.
Yep.
Yeah, Paul.
So I caught the Instagram feed. Fantastic. Missed the first bit, so I watched the whole darn thing again. And I had a question.
All right.
Virtual video training with you for classes.
ImproveMyArchery.com.
Thank you, Evan.
Yep. ImproveMyArchery.com. Chad Epperson is waiting. I just added Chad Epperson to the room.
Bo, you had a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually nice to be here. I'm glad that you hosted this meeting this evening. I had a couple questions. First question being, how do you work on mentality? Pre-tournament or I shoot a lot of Joad weeknights. How do you work on your mentality? That's one thing that I feel that I have a big issue with. My shooting's there, but whenever I get there to the shoot, it's just mentality goes down the drain.
So mental game, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a short answer because it's easier than you think, right?
Yeah.
At your level and at where you are, what is happening with you right now is that when you're practicing, you're just shooting your bow. But when you shoot the Joad tournament, you're trying to win the tournament, or you let all of those other distractions, right? When you're in the room, you may feel some of the other kids are competing against you. Like they know who you are and they really want to beat you bad. Or you may be in a room with a rival Joad club and you feel unwelcome. You may be in a room where you don't know anyone at all. You might feel isolated. There's various things or feelings that you feel depending on what room that you're in. Those extra feelings that you have to shield yourself against takes away bandwidth from shooting your bow. But if you walk in the room, ignore everything in the room and just shoot your arrows, and that it sounds easier than it is, but if you just walk in the room and just shoot your arrows with this attitude, I'm just going to shoot all my arrows and whatever happens, happens. That's it. Right. And if you can walk in and anytime your mind wanders, anytime your brain thinks, oh my God, I'm going to win. I think I'm going to win. Right. That
Right.
distraction will make you miss. So what you have to do is when you walk in the room, you have one job, and your one job is to shoot your bow, right? So when you
Right.
walk in there, say, look, today I'm going to shoot my bow. I got 60 shots that I got to let go today. I'm going to shoot every single one of these with good tempo, with strength and confidence. Whether if I think I'm going to hit it or not, I'm going to shoot it anyway. I'm just going to shoot every arrow the best I can, and I'm going to see what happens. It takes a little
Right.
bit of bravery. You have to be okay with losing in order to win.
Right.
Because
And
if losing is too high of a price, you'll never win.
right. And another issue I've noticed with my mentality is I do the Joad program, the pins program, where you go 1 to 8 pins and then you get to bronze, silver, and gold. Ever since I've started working on my bronze pin, it feels like I made a big deal out of something that's not. It just, I don't know. It feels harder to just go in there and shoot now that I'm shooting for something bigger than just a pin.
What's the difference
That's
between shooting the score at home and shooting for the pin? What's the difference?
There is none.
Well, there is none, but there must be, because it makes you become a different person when you're trying to get the score for the pin. So tell me what the difference is.
You're shooting at home by yourself, and you're most likely, depends on what you do, it's probably gonna be a little bit more quiet. So if you're at the shoot or you're at Joad, there's gonna be people there. There's gonna be more distraction there. That's what I noticed.
Right, but extra people, they aren't holding your hand. They're not, pushing on you. They're not standing behind you going, miss it, Bo, miss it. Right.
Right.
So how are they affecting where your arrows hit?
They're not. I guess it's more you're letting
They're
them.
not, but you're letting it. Okay. So you're letting distractions beat you. So now how can you separate those distractions? How can you redirect your thought patterns when they come in, right? Because that's the one thing that you can't really control is that thought that floats through your head, oh my God, I'm about to win, right? You can't really control that. However, you can pull that thought down and look at it, worry about it, think about it, protect yourself against it or whatever, right? Or you can just let that thought come in and then keep going, because you have your brain full of everything that you need to do in order to effectively shoot your bow.
Right.
So here's an example. This is a Georgia State Championship belt buckle, right? I wanted one of these things so bad. I mean, so bad. Oh my God, I want one of those so bad. I spent the first half of my life trying to win one. And I was shooting against dudes like Jeff Rogers, who won Vegas 4 times in over a 10-year span. I was shooting against some dudes trying to win this belt buckle, but I messed it up at the last shot so many times, because this Georgia State Championship belt buckle was like the most important thing in my life. Well, one day I accidentally won it. And by accidentally winning, I shot the last arrow of the tournament without actually knowing it was the last arrow of the tournament. So that part of my brain that turns on, that screws everything up, didn't turn on in time to mess me up. And I won one of these damn things, right?
Mhm.
So once I got this thing and I was driving home, the luster of this thing didn't even last to get me home. I was like, man, I thought it was going to be bigger than this. I thought it was going to be way more awesome, you know?
Right.
And it was like the sun came up the next day and my schoolwork was still there, and nobody at school gave a crap what it was that I had won or what I did or that it was a major life accomplishment. And then suddenly I had this new perspective that this thing was so big I couldn't see around it.
Yeah.
And then it was causing me, just thinking of winning this was causing me to miss because I wasn't thinking about shooting my bow. I was thinking about winning this. Right. So that is what made a tremendous difference, was winning that first thing. Right. That's what really made the difference for me, to be able to look past the award or what it was, that the accomplishment that I was trying to make, because the real test here is, can you shoot every arrow even when you're terrified? Right? That's the real test. Another story, one of the guys, one of the Hornets, it was 2013. We were at the World Indoor Trials. He was trying to shoot for a spot on the team for the World Indoor Trials. His name was Dylan McGeorge. And he shot a new national record on the first day to get first place position at the trials. And then we had to go into the round robin matches after that. Well, the next morning I'm talking and we're in there and everybody's getting their stuff set up and getting ready. And I hear his voice coming from behind me, George, and I turned around and he's looking at me with this like terrified look on his face. And I walk over and I'm like, what's going on? And he goes, my hands are shaking so bad I can't even get my stabilizer on my bow. So I took the stabilizer and the bow from him and I'm screwing it on. And he goes, what am I going to do? I'm freaking out. I was like, look, dude, you're entering the round robin matches. You've shot a national record score, and everyone in the room has to beat you over and over and over again in order to make the team. So I'd be terrified too, right? You're supposed to be scared. You're at the World Indoor Trials and they are testing you to see if you're good enough to be on the team to go to the World Championships. So he goes, okay, I got it. What am I going to do? You're going to shoot X's anyway, is what you're going to do. You're going to go out there. You're going to be terrified. You're going to shit your pants. You're going to do the whole deal, but you're going to shoot X's anyway. Whatever happens to you, whatever you do, keep hitting X's until they tell you to quit. Anything else, whatever happens, happens. But whatever happens, hit the X. That was my coaching to him. And he went in there and started hitting the X. And he's like, are we almost done? How many more matches? It doesn't matter. Keep hitting the X. If you're behind, or if you're equal, or if you're in first place, if you don't keep hitting the X, you're not going to be where you want to be. So the strategy is always the same. Hit the X until they go, congratulations, you won.
Yep.
Right.
And my second, that's great advice. It's just basically focus on the target and nothing else but the target.
Nope. Don't focus on the target. Focus on shooting your bow. The target is part of shooting your bow. Focus on the entire process of shooting your bow.
Yeah, it's almost like focus on not focusing too hard about focusing. Right, George?
Kind of, but when you're practicing, you're focusing on shooting your bow.
Yep.
Pull it back. You do your little setup, however you do it. You get the sight on the target. You look through the peep. You got everything set. Boom, the bow goes off. You follow through. You verify. Yep, sure did. Hit that one. All right. Then you load an arrow in your bow and you do it again. If you focus intently on the flow and the feel of how that shot goes, you can add the visual of what you see, the sight's moving around in the middle of the target, poof, and the release goes, you follow through, and boom, I hit it. Okay, great. Load another arrow in the bow. All right, here we go. And you do it again, right? And if you just focus intently on the feeling of shooting your perfect shot, all those extra distractions, that noise over there, that kid that's competing against you really hard, your mom out there, oh my God, Bo, you're gonna win, you're gonna win. That won't distract you, right, from your shooting, because your mind is so full of what you want, which is a perfect, clean, well-timed shot.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you kind of covered it a little bit. You said, think about your perfect shot and just let your pen float. Whenever you shoot, do you focus more, like whenever you're at full draw, looking through your peep, looking down range, do you focus more on the pen, watching it float, or do you forget that the pen's even there?
I don't even really see the pen that much. It's in between me and the target, and I'm looking at the pen. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the target, and the pen is just in between me. Like I'm looking at the camera, and my thumb is in between me and the camera, right? And the general rule is your sight is always headed to whatever it is that you're looking at, right?
Right.
So if you just give it a moment, like you'll pull the bow back, put the sight in the middle, then look through the peep, and then it's like this, and then it kind of does that, and it slows down, pow, and then the release goes, right? In a perfect world, that's the way that it's supposed to work. But if you wait for that to slow down and get still and then begin shooting your release, it leaves, right? So when you draw back, give it a moment to quiet down, and you start shooting right here, and that extra pressure of shooting tightens up your hold, and then the release fires just in time, you see.
Right.
So look at what you want to hit with all your intensity, and the pen will follow what you're looking at. But if you look at the pen, it has nothing to anchor to, right? It just goes
Right.
everywhere, right? But if you look at the middle, and I want it right there, right in the middle, keep it right there, right there's what I want. I want it right there, right there, right there, right there. Boom, got it.
Right.
That's what's in my head while at that final moment of shooting the release. Literally what I just said is in my head, right there, right in the middle. That's what I want, right there, right there, right there. Boom, and it goes. And I go, gotcha. Load my arrow in the bow. Yes. All right, I'm doing it now. I talk a little trash in between arrows just to kind of blow off a little energy, right? But that's how I do it.
Right. And I noticed, I would focus on the pen and it would move. And I had a hard time accepting that pen was moving. I'm like, okay, I know it's not ever gonna sit directly in the middle of the target, but I'm like, I just can't stand it to move. So I quit paying attention to the pen and it hits where I'm looking.
Yep.
So thanks for clearing that up, because that definitely makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, do that. And for all of you old guys out there like me, shoot your bow, don't aim your bow. If you let it get still while you're shooting it, you'll get a lot more dead center hits. If you wait until it's in the middle before you shoot it, you're going to miss it every time, because we only have about 6-8 seconds of good shooting time. So if it takes 6 or 8 seconds just to get the pin on the middle of the target, we're doomed. So look at the middle, roughly put the pin in the middle, let it jiggle around while you're working your way through and shooting the shot. And I promise you the pin will get there just as the release fires. If you can be brave enough to trust that action, it will work. All of you young guys who can hold it full draw for days, shoot it quick. You'll have way more energy left over for the shoot off. And Tyler, you've won some big ass shoot offs in the last couple of years, and you know what kind of energy you got to have left over for those.
Yeah, you have to have a lot.
Right. So if you use it all just trying to get a full score, you're dead meat.
Yeah. So can I add? Well, so I was like, I've had a lot of time on my hands, in quarantine. So I've been like contemplating like some ideas that I had. Is there a point at which you're, because your muscles are in your mind, what's the term that they use? Like they're connected, like visual proprioception. Is that the term?
Yep.
So I was like thinking, is there a point at which your muscles and like mine are correcting it at such a low, like fast rate that your eyes just like can't perceive that movement?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
that shot where you don't even know. You're in the shoot off, you're in name, You got to get one more 10. You were there just yesterday, right? You got to
Yeah,
get
I felt like
one more 10. And you would say you don't really know exactly where your pin was, or you don't know if it was dead center, but somehow or another, like magic, the arrows are hitting in the middle, right? And that's that trick. If you just let go and shoot your bow, your brain, your subconscious knows where the pin needs to be, and it knows how to time that muscle action of everything working together because you trained it that way with the close range exercise, right?
Yeah.
So when you train all that in, it just works. And I swear it's like magic. I won some shoot offs. I would have told you I was going to shoot one in the blue because my pin looked like it was just like everywhere, and it went off and somehow it was dead center. Right.
Can I add to that?
Yeah. Go ahead and add to it. I'm going to find a picture right quick. Go ahead.
Okay. So like how I go about like practicing, like you said, like you're just like programming the subconscious in practice. And then my goal in when I'm competing is just to turn off the rest of my mind and let the subconscious go. So I don't, I don't want to, get in the way of a running car,
Right.
Well,
when you turn your brain off, you don't ever want your brain to be empty. You want something productive, proactive to shooting your good arrows. You don't want your brain to be empty, because if your brain is empty, any distraction in the world can walk right up in there and poop in the middle of your shot, and it is over, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen that work. I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Tyler, I know it's been just a minute or two, but last year, last year Neem, right? That was the big shooter. That last arrow we were talking about, mental game and all that kind of stuff. You're on this international stage, right? I'm gonna make actually Tyler start sweating, because just me talking about this kind of stuff, George makes him sweat.
Yeah.
I'm actually fine now, believe it or not. Like I'm totally over that whole like nervous phase.
If I was going to say, if there's one thing that I've seen extraordinarily major improvement, it's your mental game, right? Because you've really kind of honed that in. But that last arrow, do you remember what was on your mind?
Yeah, I was thinking about the AP calculus test that I had to take when I got back. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, and by the way, I got a 54 on that.
Oh, Tyler.
Oof.
Oh, Tyler.
Oh, and by the way, oh yeah, that's good. That's even funnier. That makes it even a better story.
No, but no, it's out of 100. Yeah, no. But in all seriousness, no, what was going through my mind? It helps like traveling with the crew, and like I was just thinking about like how we're gonna celebrate afterwards. Like, just it was my birthday actually. So like I was just
That's
like
right. It was.
Yeah.
How
it was just
how did you shoot that arrow? Like when you said you were distracted, what'd you score
I
on that shot?
Yeah.
It was an X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. I wasn't gonna miss that one.
Hey,
like,
yeah. Way to
went too
support
far.
what I'm trying to do here, Tyler.
Like that one was going in the middle. Like I don't care. Like I actually had like 2 seconds left, if I remember right. 2 or 3.
I think so. Yeah.
Ran down the clock.
And one of my other favorites is we won't go into this one, but I still love the Lancaster stage. That was one.
I mean, who doesn't?
That was one of my favorites. Anybody that wants something entertaining, just go watch Tyler 2 years ago.
It's actually 3. Believe it or not.
Was it 3? Was it 3 now?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Getting old.
That was a good one.
You shot so good though.
Oh, thank you, Sam. I appreciate it.
I got a question, Tyler.
Yep.
Will you be doing any more coverage for Junior Pro Talk at the ASAs again? I know you did 1, maybe 2 last year. I'm not for sure. London for sure. I know you did. Will you be doing any more ASAs this season?
Yes. So I'm definitely gonna be in Foley, and if you're gonna be in Foley, maybe we could work something out. I'm always looking for people to have on. So if you're looking to do a podcast, just send me a DM, and I'll be happy to have you on.
No, I'll definitely be at I don't know about you. I'll be at Metropolis, London, and Coleman. So
Coleman. All right. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna go to those. I'm just deciding whether or not I'm gonna do more, USC archery or ASA. I'm kind of liking the ASAs.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely try to have like at least like someone there if I don't do the ASAs, but it's looking like I'm gonna do more of the ASA. So I'm definitely gonna like start putting a plan together like for coverage for the ASAs. I guess I just haven't thought that far ahead, being
Right.
completely
Yeah.
honest.
I love.
But I'm definitely.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Okay. No, I'm definitely gonna start putting something together.
Yeah.
Doing it, Tyler. This is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's gonna
happening.
happen. Yeah. Actually, I might start working on a podcast this week, so you might have to keep your eye out.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's he's teasing it. He's teasing it. All right.
Perfect.
So I finally found the picture.
You found it?
We were talking about, your site is everywhere, and you're like, oh my God, just shoot it, just shoot it, just shoot it, just shoot it, boom, and you're like, oh no, and you're like, wait, yes, right. I have graphical representation of that.
That's right.
Shoot off arrow, right? And you see him, he's like, oh my God, that shot sucks. And then his mom is up in the stands and she's like, you nailed it. He's like, what?
Yeah, was that
That's what it
for
looks like.
20 grand for that day, or 10
12.
grand, or 12?
10K. No, it was 10K a day. That's what it was.
10K. That's what
10K
it
a
was.
day. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that was that shot.
Dude was killing it.
Yeah,
Nate,
that was
where's
good.
Nate at? Nate needs to jump in with us.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised.
He's in Arizona. Yeah, he's right down the road. He's in Arizona hunting.
Oh, is he?
Oh,
really?
he is. Y'all ain't gone out there and hooked up with him yet?
No, we just didn't plan it.
doing our own thing,
Yeah, we're
isn't
doing
he?
our own thing. Yeah, he's with Xavier. What's
Alexander.
Xander? Yeah, that's who it is. Cooper.
Jason.
Yeah,
Xander
yeah, they're all out. I think they're camping.
Yeah,
they're
right,
camping.
they're right next to us.
What zone were we hunting?
21.
Yeah, we're hunting 21. They're hunting 21. They literally passed us in the car. We waved.
Yeah,
Like,
they literally.
Yeah.
We saw like
That's
30
funny.
does and they just scared them
Yeah.
off.
So.
That is funny. Okay, so two things real quick. One, just so everybody has it, I'm going to do this for you, George, so that you don't have to. Down in the chat window, improvemyarchery.com. That's in case you want to do any online lessons or book anything in person with George. Also, I added fixmyarchery.com as well. You just go there and you can, he's getting really good at the online, the coaching aspect, and doing lessons and stuff. So, but are you ready for another question, George?
I'm ready. I see a few in the chat. There's a couple.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do is, Don, can you go ahead and unmute and tell us what you'd like to know. Don, paging Don.
Yep, I'm here.
Thank you.
So where would a creep tuning go in the bow tuning process? So I start off and I bare shaft tune and then go through and try to line everything else up in the bow. Where would I stick the creep tuning in?
So the creep tuning usually needs to happen before any kind of paper tuning. And here's why. Because unless you're shooting perfectly consistent shots through the paper, if you have a creep tune issue, it'll show up as a high or a layer or a low tear through the paper. So what I do is I eyeball everything, right? Get it in the middle, get my knocking point, 90 degrees, everything looks good. Then I'll put it in the draw board and crank it back and eyeball the timing and go, yeah, that looks pretty dang good. I'll go ahead and sight the thing in at 20 yards. And if I'm unsure, I'll do a really quick creep tune just to make sure that it looks like it's okay. Then I'll go and double check the paper. 90% of the time, it's a bullet hole. And then I start kind of working on my things after that. Bare shaft planing is kind of a waste of time with a compound bow. It's just as good as paper tuning, because if you get a perfect bare shaft flight, or if you get a perfect hole through the paper, it says, yes, the arrow is flying straight out of the bow. It doesn't mean it's as accurate as it can possibly be. When I do long range group tuning, I can get my bow as accurate as it can possibly be by slowly dialing arrow rest, knocking point until I get the most absolute tightest groups. I'm talking shooting at a line at 90 meters, doing that kind of thing. When I go back to the paper, it's nowhere near a perfect bullet hole. A lot of times it's a 1/4 inch high and left or a 1/4 inch high And that's what gives me my absolute best groups at distance. Now, I'm not talking about bow hunting with broadheads. I'm talking about just target arrows for straight up race gun target archery kind of accuracy. Typically, a perfect bullet hole or perfect bear shaft plane isn't the most accurate.
Okay.
So kind of side question off of what Don said. If you have your bow sighted, paper tuned, all that stuff, and you know you're shooting straight, accurate, all that kind of thing, is creep tuning something that you need to make sure you're doing periodically, or is it something that you can do once and say, okay, I have a good creep tune on my bow and be confident from there going forward?
That's pretty much based on how good your strings and cables are. You know, if you have great cables and they were made by a really good string maker and there's not a lot of loose strands or, you know, that type of thing that normalizes over time, typically you can creep tune it once and check it. Let's say you got brand new strings, check it again in about a week. Most of the time you're good. But you notice how I took a glance at James's target and I was like, hey, I think your timing is off. I look at my targets, and if I start getting that vertical, you know, dispersion of groups, or if I shoot one that I know is balls and it hits a little bit high, then I know, oh, I probably better check that. Right. And it's such a quick, easy test, especially if you have access to a bow press. There is nothing to, you know, just putting a quick twist in a cable, retesting, boom, and you're done.
Okay,
Excellent.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay, so that was good, George. Let's
I see something from Paul.
Paul, yes, that's what I was going to say. Paul, could you unmute and ask your question?
Sure. Actually, I have an easier first question that I think I might have an answer to, but I'm wrong a lot, so I'm going to ask it with George here. And I wrote it down. Is there a downside to drawing back the bow high and to the full draw position? And I don't mean sky draw or anything like that. I mean drawing it back high and then coming down into the anchor. The problem I had was I wasn't equalizing some of my pressures. I wasn't getting properly into the back wall of the bow. I started to draw it a little higher and noticed that I could get into the back wall a little better. And then I would come down and hope that my shoulders were moving down with it to relax. But I was concerned that I wasn't getting my shoulders down to relax. And I thought that might be a flaw that I could think of. Or anyway, that's enough information for that.
So to get that right, it's better. See, the reason that we raise the bow up in the first place is biomechanics, right? Because the brace height is this high, you know, on our bows. So we can't raise the bow like this, or otherwise we have to be turned forward toward the target, right? Let me switch cameras again. I'm overheating again. And there we are. So when you get pulled back, all right, so by raising up, our hands can be close together and we can draw the bow like this, you see, like with this kind of action here. So when we go here, I have the lever of this hand. I have leverage. When I just lower my hands, you see they become farther apart, just lowering them, right? You can really see that in that camera angle.
Yeah.
When I raise them up, they're close together. So I have the leverage of opening as I draw. I have leverage as lowering, and I have leverage of opening my elbow like that, right? You see how that works?
Yep.
So when I go zip like that, and then I just go boom against the wall, I don't slow down and carefully touch the wall. I just go zip right against the wall, settle my shoulders. And then before I touch my anchor, you see, I'm like this far away from my face. Before I touch my anchor, I can feel that line in between my elbow and here, right? I can feel that. I feel the pressure. It feels tight in between my hands. Then I put the sight on the target. Then I move the peep in to come in front of my eyeball. Now that is key. I put the sight on the target. Then I look through the peep. Then I touch my anchor. So that sets the shot up in my body to the target. I'm not setting my body in the bow and then hunting the target down.
Excellent.
I tried
Thank you very
that.
much.
Put the sight on the target and then put the pin on your face, like earlier tonight. a little bit yesterday. It was crazy how well it worked all of a sudden. I just kind of went up and boom, I felt rock solid. It was insane.
Yeah, and everything just works because the
Yeah.
shot is set up at the target. So it makes the shot go off quicker. It makes the stability work. It makes your follow through stay on target because everything is set up at the middle.
Yeah, everything was a lot nicer.
And Caden, I noticed you have a hand up signal
Yeah.
there.
My Zoom etiquette from school was coming into play. I have a question.
Okay, go.
So my main one is I broke my wrist in a bike in a car accident, I think 6 weeks ago. And I wasn't able to shoot for I think 6, 7, or 8 weeks for a good period of time. I'm just now kind of like getting into the groove, being able to shoot again. And right now I've just been shooting. Like I've worked my poundage up slowly. And I figured, oh, you just shoot and you get your muscles back. But are there any other ways to speed up the process?
That's about, I'm not a physio guy, so I'm not the best person to answer that question, but shooting and working the poundage up is usually the best way to come back after you get cleared after an injury.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then my other one, you mentioned group tuning. Can you elaborate how that works?
So group tuning, I have an Easton Technical Bulletin from 1992 on my website, archerylearningcenter.com. And
Okay.
if you look at that Easton Technical Bulletin, it goes through the long range group tuning process really clearly. And you essentially are shooting groups at a line. You can shoot at a bullseye, but I like to shoot at a line. So I'll shoot at a horizontal line and I'll look at the vertical dispersion of the arrows and I'll make tiny 32nd of an inch adjustment to my arrow rest and see if the group closes down.
Okay.
If the
Thank you.
group gets thinner, I keep shooting. I'll move it again, move it again, move it again, and I'll move it until it opens back up again. I go, okay, that's too far. And I go back to here. Then I set the line vertical and I'll experiment left to right with the arrow rest until I get the tightest vertical group. And then it is tuned. So when I go to the paper and it gives me a funny tear through the paper, I just ignore it. The only reason that I shoot it through the paper one more time is so if I know if I've like damaged my arrow rest blade or something like that, and I need to do a quick fix in the middle of a tournament, I can quickly shoot it through the paper. And if it's tearing about the same way, I know I'm pretty good and I can keep sighting it in and just go.
Okay. Does that same thing work for indoor too? Like, could you put a horizontal line on the target and shoot and then mess with your rest?
You can indoors unless you are a really tight shooter. I'm talking 26, 28X Vegas target kind of tight shooter. It's close enough to where you can't really see a difference in between those little adjustments that you make. You kind of need to have a little bit more distance between you and the target.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe you could do it with little arrows, but then your tune changes when you go to your big ones. So 20 yards, it's kind of tough. So normally I get a bullet hole through the paper and I just start rolling with it.
All right, thank you.
So one second,
Now,
Paul.
Paul, you had an extra. You had
hold on a second, just to clarify that, George. So for 20 yards, normally bullet hole paper, then you'll just start rolling from there.
Yeah, 20 yards. Only reason I shoot a bullet hole through the paper is just to make sure that there's not something crazy going on. And if I get a clean hole through the paper, I know I'm fine and I can just go.
Got it. Roger that. Okay, Paul. Sorry, go ahead.
No
What do you
problem. Caden, let me say first, better have Reading this year so we can have our barbecue at the Barkers.
Yeah, for sure.
And watch the hummingbirds.
Yeah, I'm coming to Reading, whether if y'all have the shoot or not. So y'all might as well just have the shoot.
Yeah, we should get the barbecue ready for you anyway. We'll call it
perfect.
Okay. The question I was actually going to ask that I put in the chat, what is the importance you give to visualization practice? And is that one of the key differences between Joes and pros aside from experience?
Well, I think that experience helps with the visualization practice. That's one thing. The more experience you have, the better your relationship is with how to shoot an arrow, right? But You can't really have archery performance without a solid mental game, and a solid mental game is based heavily in visualization and basically just preloading. What visualization does is it preloads what you're going to do before you go do it. And the reason why you have to have a preloaded plan is because when you get there and you discover that your body is freaking out, you have to have some kind of preloaded plan to default to, or otherwise everything is out the window and your entire day is just a shit show because you can't make anything happen, right? So by having a preloaded plan where everything works and you know that this is what I'm going to do when everything goes to hell and I'm just going to be surviving on the line, trying to keep all my arrows, this is how I'm going to do it. So that visualization practice, you can visualize being nervous. You can visualize it being noisy. You can visualize the 60-foot jumbo screen in front of you with you on it moving in unison. That's the most distracting thing in the world for me, is having that big screen. And when you move your arms move on the screen and it's going, look at me, right? And it's like really hard. So I plan to see all of that. Always make sure, and I've never seen anyone say this before, but make sure that when you visualize your performance at a tournament and you make your mental plan of what you're going to do, don't visualize an outdoor shoot with pristine wind and perfect dead center aim, because you will never get that, ever. So visualize it's going to be windy, it's going to be intermittently windy, it's going to be raining, and this is the speed that I'm going to put my pin in the target. This is the weight that I'm going to go against the release just to begin. This is how quick I'm going to expect my release to fire. You're going to have all that stuff worked out before you even get there. So when you get there and what you thought was going to happen happens, and you just say, okay, this has happened. It's crazy windy. This is how I'm going to shoot my bow. Here we go. Boom, 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 boom. And you just start shooting your bow, and you'll see that having that preloaded plan, you lose that mental scramble, right? And the mental scramble is what really starts the ball rolling downhill. When you miss that first arrow or you encounter that first unexpected thing and you're like, oh no. And then you start scrambling, trying to fix it. And suddenly you're not shooting your bow anymore. And that's when it just turns into a total disaster of a tournament.
Thank you for letting me ask my questions.
Yep, absolutely. All right, one more question. Rhonda has signaled to me that it is bedtime. So one more question. Who's got it?
Not to cut in on your question here, but I just wanted to express my thanks to you and Evan for doing this. It's been super constructive, and I'll take away a lot from this and look forward to the next one for sure.
Well, Jack, I'm glad you did it. And I'm going to do this more because you see, I've got my setup and everything all rigged out. So now all I got to do is turn this thing on. So keep your eye out, and who knows, Evan, we might even like make a schedule or something and just like,
let's not get overconfident.
Every evening, at this particular evening on this particular day, we always do this. I don't know.
I kind of
like
this.
You can't schedule.
I
can't schedule
like this right here. You're right. There you go. Thanks, Jack. But I kind of like this, like, just being able to feed and, that's good.
I am super pleased with like how this has worked out. I didn't know what was going to happen. And we got a bunch of cool people that we know, on the chat, and it turned out great. So
just so you know, like most of our plans, it literally was come up with about 4 minutes before you guys saw it live on Facebook and Instagram. We're like, hey, I got an idea. Let's do this.
Yeah, I actually told Evan, I was like, what do you think would happen if we just opened this up on Facebook and Instagram and just told everybody what we're doing? Let everyone in. What do you think will happen?
You know what my words were?
It could be bad. It could be good.
Yeah. My words were also, Zoom does have a 500 person limit. Because you just never know.
Well, I am so glad that you guys turned out for us, and I will definitely do more of these. And I've recorded this as video. I have also recorded this as audio. So take a look at the podcast at DryFired.com. and it's on Apple Podcast. It's on Spotify Podcast. You can get it at Podbean. DryFired is the name of the podcast. And I'll also post this video up to Facebook and might even put it on Instagram Reels, depending on how this like turns out once I get it all done. So thanks for coming out, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everybody. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm gonna lead us out with Quinn's original music. My son Quinn made this DryFired. Thanks everyone for coming out. I love that. One of these days, I'm actually going to record dry firing a bow. That's a fake dry fire sound that I produced, but you know what, Tyler? The next time you're in town, we're going to dry fire your bow and record it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
That'd be
If
perfect.
it has like a 1,000 dry fire rating, I think we should test that out.
I mean,
Let's do it. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate all of you, and see you next time. Okay,
See ya.
I've turned it off. It's off. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you later. I'm going to hit end.
Thanks.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
All right.